Hey, Leslie Lane Peabody here, Ninjas in High Heels, and tonight I'm going to show you how to set up your very first Google Hangout. Excuse me for the screen kind of bopping. So I'm going to show you what you need to do before you ever do a first Google Hangout, and I walk people through this all the time, friends, family, that kind of thing, and it just takes a minute. So spend about 5 minutes of your time with me. Do it as I do it. So there's going to be a button down there that lets you stop the video in the middle, stop the video, have a Hangout going live all at the same time, right? Okay, so I'm going to try and share my screen right now, okay? And when I share the screen, if you take, once you get on, okay, if you take your cursor and you hover to the left part of your screen, you're going to see this colorful menu bar pop up. And it's not always in the same order, but for me, it's my second icon right now. And the second icon is a green box with a little white arrow that's going that way. Hopefully that's the right way. It might be backwards when you see this. But a green box with a little white arrow. And that's for screen share. So watch how this goes for a minute. Oftentimes it kind of looks like 10,000 mirrors, right, going off. But don't freak out if it does that. And if it does that and doesn't come back to a simple screen, click it again and it'll come out of that. The first time I did that, I didn't know how to get out of it. So please, know how to get out of it. Click the screen share button twice. Once to get on, once to get off. Works amazing. It's, you know, sometimes I amaze myself with my stupidity. Anyway, so once you hit that green box, then you're going to have this gray box that shows up right in the middle of my screen. It's right about there. It's about that tall, okay? And I see all my different screens there. So I'm going to share my Google Hangout screen with you. So you pick the box you want, and then down at the bottom, after you click on one of the boxes, it gets a little blue highlight and it says Start Screen Share. Just click that guy, and remember when I said that, you're going to see like 10,000 mirrors. Okay, see, there we go, 10,000 mirrors. And hopefully that'll come back out of it. Sometimes I'm not as lucky that it comes back out of it like it's supposed to. All right, it's not coming out of it, so I'm going to hit Screen Share again, and it's going to come out of it. All right, and then I'm going to try it again, and I'm going to try a different screen share. I'm going to try my desktop this time and see how that works. There it goes, and it should come back out and just show you one particular screen share. Okay, so when I was telling you about this data, and it's not, but I'm going to keep going forward anyway, because don't let technology stop you. Just keep going. Things will work. It'll be okay. Just keep going. Okay, so over here, remember how I told you? Hello? Come back to me. There we go. So over here, did you notice how I was just hovering over here and these little icons showed up, okay? This first one is a chat box. So I'm going to pick up the chat box and I'm going to show it to you. And did you see how the right-hand side of my screen turned white? Now you can chat in this box. So you chat in that box at the bottom, hit enter, and everybody who's on your chat can see that. So don't do private messages with some of your leaders that are on your Google Hangout. Put it in the chat box, right? And anybody can see it. So I like the chat box. Here's the screen share button I was telling you about. So I'm going to pop it off. It goes away. Now I'm going to hit that green button again. Okay, and I can show you different ways to see the screen. Now I'm going to show you a different screen. Oh, that's much better. See, that's showing you my Google page, right? So I'm going to stop my screen share because it's not really showing you what's going on, however, in the places I want. So I'm going to try this again and try my Google Hangouts page and start my screen share. Okay, then the next one is Q&A. Q&A, not one of the most important things that you need to know, but you should have it. Q&A will open up and it'll download the app. I think you kind of saw it going through there. You have to do the Q&A prior to starting your Google Hangout, prior to when you started your Hangout, okay? So it's not going to let me enable Q&A right now, okay? But that's okay because we don't need to do that. Here's a picture. Do you see how when I hover over it, maybe you could see it right there, when I hover over it, the text comes up through, and I'm really sorry it's not working great, but I'm not going to stop because it's important that you know these things. I'll re-record it later. Then here is the cameraman. I hardly ever use that. That's for a more advanced course. Today we're talking about what do you need to know today. Oh, I forgot to tell you. The capture is the screen capture. So if you're doing something and you want to post a picture to Facebook or whatever, social media or whatever, a still picture, that's when you hit that capture. Okay? I hardly ever use that. I use Jing, but that's a tool that's right here in Facebook. Cameraman, like I said, don't worry about that. I don't use that a whole lot. Control room, again, for a more advanced class. That's not what you need for the first class. YouTube button, never use it, don't really need it. Google Drive, don't really need it. Here's what you really need to pay attention to. Pay attention to this, because my most special favorite feature is right in here. Okay, and what you do is you click on this. Do you see on the left it says Add Apps? Hopefully you can see that. And you click on that gray box that says Add Apps. And then I look for the Hangout toolbox. You want to install, and hopefully you're on Chrome, right? Be in Chrome before you do this, before you start it. See that picture? It's kind of a red toolbox with a wrench on it. Okay, click on that, install your Hangout extension. Just click on that puppy and let it load up. This app would like to do those things, accept it, right? Move on forward. And then you see that red toolbox suddenly shows up over here when I'm in the left-hand side. Now, do you see these three gray buttons? That's how, if you have excess apps and they roll over, they'll show up on this page, or that's how you add the apps, is by those three gray buttons. So if you missed that, because I didn't talk about that before I talked about the toolbox, that's where you need to go. Now, this is why the toolbox is my most favorite thing in the whole world. So this is what it looks like before the toolbox goes there, right? So if you click on the toolbox, see how on the right-hand side a toolbox shows up? And this is the one I use, that first little icon with the head with the circle around it, okay? The head with the circle around it. You are going to love this so much. So Leslie Lane Peabody Speaker, that all automatically showed up for me. Leslie Lane Peabody Speaker, right? And then you can enter your tagline. Oh, let's say, create a business that works when you don't. That's probably too long a tagline, but I have it anyway, okay? So then you go in and you can choose a color. So I'm like kind of a purple girl. I don't know if you've seen me in my big purple hat, but you can choose whatever color you want, right? And then, very important, you see this on and off button? Turn it on. Okay? That's as simple as it is. Now, you don't see anything happening yet. Give me a second. I'm going to stop screen sharing, and you're going to see my face again, and you are going to be amazed. It's like Google Hangout magic. You're going to love it. Watch. I am hitting the screen share. Look, my name is below, and so is my tagline. So a lot of people will put their join links in. Okay, so I'm going to go over there. I'm going to share my screen again, because you are going to think this is so cool. I can't imagine. Dennis, the professor of possibilities, Dennis Lund, taught me this, and we were just messing around doing a hangout one day together. So I take my name, and I copy and I paste it below. And then what I do on the top line is I add my link. So I can't remember what my current link is. I should have done my homework, but I put my join link here. Put join link here. All right, so then I'm going to click it off, because if you don't click it off, I guess it doesn't reset or whatever. Click it back on. Now I'm going to stop my screen share, and look, put your join link here. Now, when you're looking at it from your side of the screen, it looks backwards. It looks like it's in the mirror. But when you're looking at it from the customer's side of the screen, it looks beautiful. So, guys, that is the most critical thing, the coolest toy I've learned from a Hangout, right? So, here's the most critical things. Hover to the left to show the main menu bar. Hover to the top, right where my forehead is, right in there. Hover in there, and you'll see an invite people button. You'll see a mute microphone button. You'll see a turn the camera off. So let's say I need to yell at my kids. So I'm not going to turn off the microphone, but I would mute my microphone. Here, I'm gonna share my screen again. Sorry, guys. Should have thought about that. Let me show you these hover buttons now. Okay. So when you hover at the top, hopefully you can see that. But here are the things. This is how you invite people. You mute your microphone. You turn your camera off. I'll show you that in a minute. These two things, the mute microphone and the turn the camera off, are the two most important ones you need to use. And then, of course, the hang up, the leave call. You'll use that every day. So I'm going to unshare for a second so that you can see what the turn the camera off. Remember that camera with the line through it? It was the third one from the left. So I'm going to turn my camera off. And look, I can still speak to you, but you only see my beautiful picture. So like if I am like yelling at my kids, or somebody's trying to photobomb me, or I'm picking my nose, or whatever the heck I'm doing, I will turn my camera off. You just click it again, the camera goes back on. The same with the mute. If you have other people on your call, have them mute their microphone when they're not talking. Oh my gosh, come on, etiquette people, you know your etiquette. And then the farthest to the right is leave the call. Don't touch that one. That's not how you hang up. Don't touch that one, okay? So those are what the buttons on the top are. Now I'm going to show you about the buttons on the bottom. Now Google Hangouts has two types of Hangouts. They have a Hangout on air, and they just have a video Hangout. See this down here, this broadcast? Before it says, before you're recording, it says start broadcast. If you think you're on a recorded Hangout, but you don't have a button that says start broadcast, you're just on a video Hangout and there is no recording. You need to have this button right here, guys. This button right here. And once you hit this button and say start broadcast, then what will happen is you'll get a little clock here and it'll count down, and then it'll go ding and it'll say live. Now one of my friends that I do a lot of Hangouts with, his name is Don the Bakuna Schmidt, and he used to think that I was eating cereal all the time, and when he heard that, it was the sound of the spoon hitting the side of the cereal bowl, so it cracked me up. But that's kind of what it sounds like. So at the bottom of the screen where it says stop broadcast, when you're ready to stop, you can stop the broadcast, but nothing hangs up till you go to the top of the screen and hit on the red phone button. It's going to be red and it's going to say leave the call. So let's talk about the first time you have a Hangout with multiple people. Multiple people, let me show you one more time. I'm going to show you the top of the screen for a second. Okay, so the most important thing is when you have speakers, see this URL up here that I'm highlighting? When you have people you're inviting to your event to speak with, when somebody's going to be a speaker and you want them to show up there and be a speaker, you send that link to them. It's easier than inviting them. You know, you had this button up here, the invite, and when you start a Hangout, you can invite people. I tell you what, people have to be there, they have to be listening, their computer has to be dinging, that kind of thing. The fastest, easiest way to invite people to speak with you is to click on this link, just copy, highlight it, copy, and paste it to, like I often do a Facebook instant message or something. So click on that link. Then the link that you send to people that you want to attend but not to speak are these links down here. And see this first one, the event page link? That's the one I almost always give. Excuse me, the event page link. That is the right one to get. Okay, you also have this YouTube page link, and you can send that out, but then people go straight to YouTube. They don't get to interact with you like they do on the Q&As and those kind of things. And I have never given this video embed button. I would probably do that if I had like a web page or something. Again, that is for the advanced class. I am teaching the basic class. I am teaching you what you need to do to get your first Hangout going tomorrow. That's what you need to do to get your first Hangout going tomorrow. And then see, when we say stop broadcast, then we'll be able to stay and don't hit the phone button. Yes, hit stop broadcast. No, don't hang up yet. The stop the broadcast will stop the recording, but then if you have speakers and you want to do an after action quick little meeting, if you just don't click that button at the top yet, then you'll be able to keep going and have the after call action meeting, and then you hang up. Same thing when you start the call. If this says start broadcast, but you have all your 3 or 4 speakers on the bottom, that is going to be awesome for you because you can have your little speaker chat before you start the broadcast. You can make sure everybody gets on the same page. I often start my Hangouts like 10 or 15 minutes ahead of time, get my speakers all together. We talk about what we're going to talk about, how we're going to interact, how we're going to do this, that, and the other, and then play there, right? So those are the critical things that you need to know. Now, since you've been so patient and you've waited this entire freaking time for me, I just went into the control room and that's not what I wanted. I'm going to go down to this button down here and look at my apps, and I'm looking for something called Google Effects. Google Effects. Did you see that? It's kind of like got a magic wand, a Harry Potter wand. Install Google extension. So this is your fun thing. You definitely don't need this for the first time, but it's freaking fun. Okay? So Google Effects, you click on that and see these effects that you get over here. You can, and we'll play with it. Go ahead and play with it on your own. I'm not showing myself because I'm showing the screen, but it's fun to play with. You have headwear here. You have eyewear, you have facial hair, you have props. This is my favorite one. You have sound. Cha-ching! Or for me, the most important thing, because nobody ever laughs at my jokes, I get people to laugh at my jokes, right? Okay, so that is your fun piece for being here with me. You get to have those fun things. Now I'm going to show you what the effects are. So let's just, I kind of go for the tiara because I am a little princess, right? Where's my tiara? They're not showing up. Oh, there's my hat, my graduation hat, my cat in the hat. I keep telling people I'm an angel. Hopefully you can see my tiara up there. There we go, my halo. People tell me that I'm actually a devil. You can be a showgirl, you can be a dog. Isn't that cool? Isn't that kind of fun? So, I mean, I'm not sure how much you'd use it for business, but I do. And to remove the effects, I'm going to take you down here. Screen share one more time. But. Don't you love this going back and forth? I'm really sorry that it's going multiple times, but I train anyway because you need to know this, and when I figured it out, I'll fix it. So see this button down here, remove all effects? Just click that, and then that dog goes away. So the dog is on. Do you see how that's kind of highlighted? It's got some differences behind it. If I move up to the hearts, that kind of shows up. So if you just want to remove everything, hit this remove everything button. Okay? Now we're going to go back out to the screen share. So, folks, that is the way you can do your first Google Hangout. Now, here you are. You're on a Hangout with me. You're watching this video. When you are ready to do your first Google Hangout, call me, text me, whatever. I will help walk you through. I will have your first practice Hangout with you. It is so easy. I've done it for a lot of people, and it really takes the stress and the pain out of it. So have your first Hangout with me. Be with someone that you trust. They can help you through it, and it is really no big deal. I love it. You're going to love it too, and you are going to grow your business if you start learning how to use these internet tools. Google Hangouts is free. I don't know if anybody has done any kind of research like on GoToWebinar, GoToMeeting, WebEx, you know, those kind of things. They're like $50 to $100 a month. A month! This is free. It's amazing. You got to do it. So I'm going to put my link below. And I am going to give anyone who signs up with that link, you can have a free first Google Hangout with me. I will walk you through your very first Google Hangout if you join my link below. And normally I would put that right here, but I wasn't planning on giving this training, but this particular Google session didn't have my information signed up. I just set up my new Leslie Lane Peabody Speaker Google account, so that's why it didn't have those things set up, and that's why you got this special bonus training today. You're going to love it. So thank you so much for joining with me tonight and learning all about Google Hangouts. I can't wait to see you on your first Hangout. Leslie Lane Peabody, Ninjas in High Heels. And now I'm clicking the Stop Broadcast button below, right? Remember that one? Stop Broadcast. Bye.